job to go right down there and take care of it while everybody was in a safe area. So no, I was the only one.
And how long were you working on the one bomb that you found before the other one exploded?
Well, what happened was we sent the robot down first. So I had a robot with the pinchers, and it pulled the pressure plate and separated it. So that one was
Safe.
As safe as we could make it. But the robot couldn't get. It was a plastic, like an oil jug, and it was in hard packed dirt, and it couldn't get it out of couldn't lift it out. So I wanted to get evidence and dispose of the explosives. So I took my own charge down, and I was about to go, collect evidence and set off the charge. And about 20 or 30 meters from the first one is when the second one detonated.
That's horrible.
And do you remember anything of it? Do you remember actually the blast, or do you don't have any recollection? You woke up how long?
Oh yeah, I was wide awake.
Oh, you were wide awake.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I got this mule kick from hell and landed on my knees and elbows.
Oh God.
And it was already dark out because it was nighttime, but we have a lot of lights, spotlights and stuff on our armored truck that were all pointing in the area. So it was nice and bright right where we were. But as soon as the blast threw me onto the ground, the lights went out.
Oh gosh.
But I thought that my helmet had been pushed over my face. So first thing I did was check my fingers, my toes, my knees, elbows, and all that. And all that seemed to be in working order. So I kind of got up on my knees and I went to fix my helmet, and I found that there was no helmet there. And that's when I thought, oh no, this is really bad. The Army is going to want that helmet back.
Oh my God.
And,
Went through hell.
and so did you immediately realize were your eyes actually gone then, or they just took them out?
I
in
was
surgery?
hoping it was just dirt and debris or some kind of temporary visual paralysis or something. I don't know. But I started stumbling back towards my truck and my team, but I had no idea where that was anymore. So eventually my team members grabbed me, dragged me back to the truck. The medic came from the outer security cordon to patch me up, and they called in a medevac chopper, and it was there very fast. And within they flew me to I went to Kandahar to their larger medical facility there. From there, they transported me to Landstuhl in Germany, the big medical U.S. DOD hospital there. And then from there, they wanted to keep me overnight for 24 hours just because possible brain swelling and whatnot. They didn't want me to risk the altitude. So, but I was at Walter Reed within 48 hours.
Wow.
Wow. 48 hours.
Yeah.
That's fast.
You probably went through hell.
Well, they run regular. They have a regular flight. It's like a hospital plane that goes back and forth from Germany to right here at Andrews. Is it Andrews?
Yeah.
I don't think it's flying much anymore. Thank goodness. But at the time, they just had regular flights and they put me on it.
And Aaron, tell Grandma about what happened with your hearing.
Oh well, part of the damage to my head was I had these cracks in my skull, and I was leaking spinal fluid right out my nose, and the doctors had to go up and patch them, but I guess either it wasn't completely patched, the cracks in my skull weren't completely filled, or maybe they had reopened. Because almost 4 years later, after my injury, I contracted.
Probably went through hell. I know your family too. My God.
Go ahead, Aaron. Continue.
Yeah, continue.
So almost 4 years after my injury, I contracted bacterial meningitis. So I was right back in the hospital, just moments after I realized that I was in trouble. I woke up one day after after I was taking a nap, which naps are great. But I woke up and I had this splitting, awful headache, and I called 911, and the 911 operator asked me what's the nature of the emergency, and I said, I almost felt embarrassed saying this. I said, I have a really terrible headache. She said, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is the pain? And I said, ma'am, I've never felt a pain like this in my life, and I've literally been blown up before. So it was bacterial meningitis, and it was eating away at my head. And whether it was the bacteria or the heavy doses of antibiotics, but it also stole my hearing, and even took that inner ear sense of balance you have. I had to work really hard to get that back. But it took months and months and years or months of surgeries on both sides to get the cochlear implants.
Couldn't be any worse.
But the damage to the blast damage from the bomb years before to my right ear made the implant. The implant didn't work. It couldn't amplify the sound enough. So one cochlear implant does work, and thank goodness that I do have some hearing now.
Oh, that's wonderful. At least you have some.
Wow, quite a story.
That is quite a story.
Could have been buried a long time ago.
Yeah, I guess it could be worse. He could have not survived, but thank goodness he's had quite a lot of hurdles to get over.
Right.
Well, I count all my blessings. There could have been a lot worse. There could have been so many. There's an infinite number of ways that it could have been a lot worse for me. But I get to come home to my family. I get to raise my son, and now 2 more are coming. And I'm married to the woman of my dreams. So
what about your running buddy?
And I get to,
and you
He forgot about you,
get to
Frank.
run marathons with your pal. He's
I
like,
get to
maybe
make
that's
chocolate
not
for a
so
living."
good.